you learn the basics of online poker, you will inevitably have to learn how to be deceptive and confuse your opponents. Let's face it, playing a straight-up book game may only win you money from players with less experience than you, because they might be the only ones who don't know you just play strong cards. For everyone else at the table, you might be an easy read. In that sense, it's important to mix up your play in order to confuse your opponents. Confusing your opponents leads them to make mistakes. That's a good thing. So here are some useful tips for mixing up your play. Choose a favorite hand that you always raise with. Use the colors of your cards to dictate how much to raise. And play a hand like it was another hand altogether. So here's one of my favorite hands, 10-8 suited, that I often raise with to mix up my play. Now I won't get silly with it and re-raise, but if the action is folded to me like in this hand, I will frequently raise in this position. You don't want to get caught in re-raising battles with your favorite hand, but more often than not, opponents will call your raise, and then you can just bet the flop with a continuation bet, just as if you still had the best hand. So let's say you actually had a much better hand and hit top pair with top kicker, where normally you would make the same size bet of about 2/3 the pot, just like in this hand. Well, to mix up your play and confuse your opponents, when you want to lead out and bet, you can vary your bet size to another amount, like, for instance, a pot size bet, every time you have 2 red cards, like you do here. This way, you will be betting different amounts in a random pattern, but it won't take any extra brain power on your part to inject some unpredictability into your play. Another way to mix up your play is to pick certain hands to play as if they were another hand altogether. Let's say for this session you choose 6-5 suited, and you decide every time you get that hand you will play it like ace-king. So here, even though you have nothing really, you bet out because if you had ace-king, well, that's what you would do, right? When you go into a hand with a betting strategy for a certain other hand, players tend to put you on the hand that is representative of your actions, and not your actual hand. That is clear deception. Confusing your opponents can result in huge pots for you when they have no idea what you are playing. But when the play doesn't work for you, you need to be able to keep the pot size under control, and always have an exit plan when another player re-raises you or simply makes it too expensive to carry on. When you go to the river or are heads up, show your cards once in a while, but don't offer any other information through the chat box. Players may very well end up getting very frustrated at your confusing play and walk right into a big mistake against you in a later hand. So I hope those tips help you add an element of deception to your game, and thanks for watching. If you want to know more about winning at online poker, visit the Poker School at pattypowerpoker.com.